Johnny, we're not going to have this discussion one more time. That cannot be your homepage, okay? Cheryl, you got my back on this? Because, Johnny, you can't be looking at pornography in the studio. It makes all of us uncomfortable. I think Cheryl likes it, but that's irrelevant. Just Cheryl, tell him he can't have that. Welcome back to another episode of NBSFN No Bullshit Fitness News, where we don't believe in political correctness, just facts, coffee, and deadlifts. Now, I hope you're ready sitting over there, you sexy little unicorn, because we have a fully grown mountain troll-sized episode for you tonight, starting off with a brand new segment of Shut Your Mouth, What's Your Point with Mike Vacanti, and we discuss cheat days, self-love, and how to sustain motivation over the long term. After that, our very own gym correspondent, Johnny Bag of Donuts, has a very special segment for you outlining the 3 most common push-up mistakes and how you can fix them. We're going to follow that up with a special segment from our very own self-proclaimed fitness Instagram influencer, your favorite, Kenzie Morgans. She'll be talking about protein, looking at broccoli and steak, and which one has more protein per serving. The answer might surprise you. And for the grand finale of today's episode, we are very excited to introduce you to our new correspondent from the land down under, Richard Tiny. He'll be discussing chemicals in foods. Which ones are safe, which ones are dangerous, and which ones you need to be looking out for. So with all that being said, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a moment of silence in which you have the opportunity to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment down below saying anything you want just so we can drive up engagement. Until you do that, I'm just gonna take a moment of silence and you can find the like button and we'll just sit here. Johnny, did you take it off your homepage yet? That was not a joke, take it off. All right, hope you did it. Let's get into it. Well, Mike, thanks for joining us. We are very excited to have you here. Before we begin, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm delightful. It's really, feel very lucky and blessed to have you on the show. Had a lot of viewers asking about you. If you don't know Mike, Mike is the owner of ontheregimen.com, tremendous website, phenomenal coach. We actually run the online fitness business mentorship together. And today, for this segment of Shut Your Mouth, What's Your Point? Mike and I are going to be discussing... Rico, what are we discussing?
Cheat meals?
Cheat meals, actually cheat days, I apologize. We're also discussing self-love. And finally, we're going to be finishing off with a discussion of sustained motivation, long-term motivation. Now, just for some brief rules in case you forget, or Michael, in case you haven't watched the show ever, which why would you? I don't know.
I have.
That's actually very surprising, quite the compliment. The rules go like this. We have 3 topics, 2 minutes each, and Mike and I both get 1 minute each to discuss every topic. We're going to begin with cheat days. Michael, 60 seconds on the clock. Rico's putting the time up for us right now. Why don't you give us your thoughts on cheat days in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So first, you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I am not a huge fan of cheat days for my coaching clients. I'm going to start by saying that, and also that everything works. Like, I've seen people make amazing progress implementing cheat days. I've seen people struggle with, usually with emotional issues related to food when incorporating cheat days. Purely on a physiological level, having higher calorie days within a fat loss window doesn't actually improve the amount of fat you lose. What it can do is improve adherence. It can make the diet more bearable, right? Like, if you're in a 16-week period, having some days where you're eating more calories is going to help you get through that time frame. But what I would rather do is let those days come up naturally. Let it happen when it's like a family barbecue. Let it happen when you're doing something, rather than picking a specific day to just pig out and make it all about food.
I love it. That was fantastic. I agree with everything that you said. For me, I have no issues with cheat days from the perspective of having higher calorie days. It's never been an issue for me. And like Mike said, I think that they can be very important from the being able to maintain or sustain your calorie deficit or fat loss over the long term. The issue that I tend to have with cheat days is the inherent notion within the term cheat day that you're doing something wrong, that you're doing something that isn't allowed. And I think this is very important because a lot of people hear cheat day, and consciously or not, they associate what they're doing with something bad or something wrong. And the more we can separate this idea of good or bad, or this inherent morality to foods or to a certain diet, the more we can disassociate ourselves from that, the better relationship we can have with food, the better relationship we can have with dieting overall, and the less we can separate things as good or bad, and more just understand that different things work for different people, and that's okay. All right, Mike, thoughts on self-love?
Again, I think it's contextual. I think a lot of people probably need to like themselves more, because being hard on yourself, judging yourself super aggressively is going to lead to a lack of future action. On the other side of the coin, for me personally, when I have not loved myself, or when I have been like disappointed in something that I was doing, or like felt badly about something I was doing, that was actually an indication that I needed to be doing something differently. So rather than like the diet example is like if I was eating very unhealthy, like dirty foods, and I felt worse as a result, like body composition aside, but I felt worse, eating more micronutrient dense foods so that I felt better was an adjustment I made so that I actually felt better, rather than just rationalize to myself that like eating unclean, or like, I'm over my time limit, but eating foods that weren't healthy consistently was okay.
You know, I think self-love is a really important topic, and the main issue that I have with the way that I see it mainstream is people saying, just love yourself more. Just love yourself. And I get really upset. Like, if it was that easy, we'd all love ourselves. We'd all be super happy. It's like, I think when you say just on Instagram or someone, you just need to love yourself more, you're trivializing it, and you're doing more harm than good, because it takes more than just saying it to actually believe it. And I think where Mike and I really agree is that a lot of times self-love will come from taking action and doing the things that are difficult, and having certain goals that you go out of your way to achieve and attain. And I think a lot of people will look at someone trying to achieve a goal and say, oh, well, you're trying to do that because you don't love yourself. It's like, no, maybe I'm trying to do this because I already love myself, but I know I'll love myself more once I maintain something greater than what I am right now. You know? So, Mike, final topic. What are your thoughts around sustained or maintained long-term motivation?
I'm going to talk about one specific sliver of that, because
60 seconds.
60 seconds. What's helped me the most historically is not isolating myself. And I mean physically isolating myself, because as someone who works for myself, and I have a couple in-person coaching clients, but my business is largely online, I can spend too much time alone, which I've just seen as a result is not good. So intentionally formulating my life so that I'm spending time not only around people, but around specific people where it's a mutually beneficial relationship, we have shared values, and we hold each other accountable to what we want to be doing individually in our lives. That is something that has helped me move towards the person I want to be over time.
I couldn't agree more. It's interesting for me, because this idea of sustained or maintained long-term motivation, it's almost like two different terms. We always hear there's motivation, which is short-term, and then discipline, which is long-term. And I agree with that on many levels, but I also think that short bursts of motivation over time, like it's not either motivation or discipline, it can be a little bit of both. And I think that having short bursts of motivation can help fuel long-term discipline. And I know for me, Mike and I live about 2.5 minutes walking distance apart. It's not a surprise that he's here. And one of the reasons that I've been so productive is because I know that several nights a week I'll be working with Mike. We get a lot done. We motivate each other more. We could stay in different houses. We could stay in different places. But by having you here and by deliberately getting together, we have these short bursts of motivation, which then fuel longer term discipline. And it really just highlights the importance of having a community. So that's our 60 seconds. I do want to continue on that. Basically, as you know, I have my inner circle. Mike and I have our online fitness business mentorship, and probably the biggest reason that we did this rather than a one-on-one higher price point option, that we do things like this in a very lower price point, bigger community perspective, is because the community is what drives so much motivation and long-term discipline. What do you think?
I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. Like, just to go back to the example of us hanging out, even though we're not like collaborating on work.
Right.
You have your emails, you have your programs to design, you have what you're doing, and even though it's similar work or largely the same type of work, we're both on our computers and we're not talking for
Right.
2 or 3 hours at a time, but we're both working, we're holding each other accountable, and then taking breaks together, talking about what we're into, and like replenishing, refreshing, and then going back into it.
It's actually, yeah. Keep going, sorry.
Even like being around, like when I ate like shit that day, and I see you come over with like a tuna salad or something, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta dial it back in. But it's like there are so many benefits to that interaction. And like you mentioned, in the mentorship, in your inner circle, not only do you help hold those people accountable, or do I help hold the coaches in the mentorship accountable, but you're creating relationships with other people who are like-minded and on the same path and growing together.
Exactly. And I think a couple things crossed my mind. One thing that Mike and I do to help each other stay more consistent when we're working together, because a lot of people struggle with actually getting together with people and not joking around, is we do the Pomodoro technique, where we'll have 20-25 minutes of straight work, 5-minute break, something like that, and we'll do that for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours straight. Works really, really well. And if you're doing it by yourself, you can do that too. Basically, work for 25 minutes, rest for 5, consistently get a lot done. Mm-hmm. Another thing, Mike and I recently, in the mentorship, one thing that we do is it's actually far less about business and much more about being a better coach. And we have the group community, but the other day we were watching our coaches. We gave them an assignment to create a video course for their clients, a nutrition course, a training course, just so their online clients could better see them and get their visuals up front, and a lot of these lessons in short video format. And while we were looking at these videos and reviewing them for the mentorship clients, we ended up sending them pictures of us watching their videos, and then they were on a group call outside of the mentorship, which is, it just really highlighted the importance. We got like hairs standing up from this. It highlights the importance of making sure that no matter what, you find a group of people with similar goals, similar ethics, similar morals, similar shared values, because when you do that, you will put yourself in a position of giving yourself the best opportunity to get the most out of yourself. Mm-hmm. And the more you do that, the more successful you'll be, and the more successful other people will be, the better you'll feel about yourself. And then going into the self-love, the more love you'll have for yourself, because you feel like you're really accomplishing more, not just for you, but for everybody else. So I think that's where we'll end this segment. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments section. If you're interested in the mentorship, we'll leave a link for that in the description as well. And Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Moving along, let's get to our very own gym correspondent, Johnny Bag of Donuts. Johnny Bags is what a lot of our viewers have been calling you. Johnny, huge congratulations. You've garnered a lot of attention for your technique, tips, and videos. Today, you're talking about the 3 most common push-up mistakes and how to fix them. Let's dive into it, shall we? What's up, Jordan? Welcome back. Today, we are talking the top 3 push-up mistakes that I see at the gym and how to fix them. Now, this first one, I call it one pump chump. Last time I saw it, I was this guy I went to college with. His name was Kurt, head of ROTC. He was always instructing people to tell them do this one, where they get down and 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, Kurt, what the f are you doing? When you do a push-up, start in the top position, control yourself all the way down like a good cadet, and then get back up to the top position. That's one good rep. You don't want to be down here. Kurt, yes sir, okay. All the way down, all the way up. Push-up mistake number 2. I call this one the woodpecker. Gonna explain why. I don't know if you've ever seen this in the gym, but it goes like this. Someone gets in good position, you're like, oh, this fucker's gonna do a good job. Well, they haven't shown you the woodpecker yet. Get in the top position right here. They go like this. They don't get a full range like a woodpecker, just like this. You're giving me neck pain just from watching you. Listen, you don't want to reach for the floor. What's going on unconsciously is you're cheating. You're trying to get that range of motion with your neck rather than full range pecs, shoulders, triceps. I learned that one in anatomy class, all right? Keep your chin tucked just like this. You don't need to be here. That's a little bit ridiculous. Just keep your chin tucked, spine straight, lower all the way down, all the way back up. Kurt would say, good cadet, let's fucking go. Push-up mistake number 3, call this one Viagra Falls. Let me paint a picture for you. You go to the gym because your friend Stuart is following a brand new push-up program to get his summer body. He's like, hey, check this out, new push-up program. You do like 100, and he goes like this. Like, that's called Viagra Falls, when you're dragging your dick on the ground and you're doing nothing. Here's the deal. When you want to do a push-up, you want everything in one straight line from your heels to your upper back to your head, everything in one straight line. Rico is filming. He could probably draw a line on me right now to show you how it looks. You don't want to be down here, Viagra falling it, up here, all the way down, all the way back up. That's how you do a good push-up. So listen, Jordan, I hope this was helpful. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. I'll see you next week on NBSFN. Well, Johnny, thank you very much. You've certainly given us a lot to think about here, per usual. Now, before we go on to Kenzie Morgan's, please just make sure you take that off your home screen. This is being recorded. The producers will see it, Johnny, so take it off your home screen. Now, let's get to Kenzie Morgan's talking about protein. Kenzie, how are you today?
Oh my God, Jordan. Hi, so good to be back. Thanks for having me. I also just want to apologize. I forgot to put my fucking face on today. So sorry. I woke up ridiculously early. People don't realize that Instagram influencer life is not easy. I woke up at 1:45 noon. I made my vegan protein pancake cakes, and then what did I tell my Instagram? Oh yeah, and then I had my green tea matcha latte, and then basically I saw all these people doing these like swipe workouts for your butt, swipe workouts for your arm fat, swipe workouts for everything. And I was like, you know what? Like, I could totally just give swipe workouts for your I did that. Great response. Today, I'm super excited because I'm going to talk to you about this crazy new fact I learned. I didn't realize it, but basically, I found out that 100 calories of broccoli has more protein than 100 calories of beef. And I know it sounds fucking crazy because like, I didn't even know that, but
hold on, Kenzie, let me just get this straight really briefly. Are you saying that broccoli has more protein than steak, not the other way around? Just want to clarify.
oh my God, Jordan, you ask literally the best questions in the world.
Kenzie, I'm sorry to cut you off again, but who is your source? Where'd you get this information?
Basically, I'll tell you, I was scrolling through Instagram per usual because like, that's actually the new place where you can get a lot of scientific stuff all over the place, all over Instagram. You scroll through your feed, you go to explore, so much science-based material, and I found this meme, or actually, is it meme? My mom says it's meme. I'm like, Mom, you're so fucking stupid. Anyway, it's a meme, I think, and here's the meme. We'll put it like right here, and basically, as you can see, it says that 100 calories of broccoli has more protein than 100 calories of beef. And realistically, like if it's on a meme or meme, whatever, then clearly it's true. That's just scientific fact.
You know what, Kenzie, please, can you just shut the f up? Can you just take a vote on this? Why does she still work here? Everything you're saying is so dumb. I very well might have a conniption while we're live on air, and none of us want that to happen again. Isn't that right, Carl? You know what? Scrap that. I got a better idea. What do you say we get some broccoli and get some steak, and let's break this myth down once and for all. Now, there are many issues with this meme, and we're going to discuss each of them. But the first thing I really want you to pay attention to is how they use 100 calories of broccoli versus 100 calories of steak. And this is important because the person who made this meme did it with the deliberate intent to try and deceive you. That was the purpose of this meme. Because when they wrote 100 calories, they knew most people would not understand what that actually looked like in practical terms. And that's why we laid these out here for you. Because 100 calories of broccoli is roughly the size of my fucking face, okay? Whereas 100 calories of beef can fit in my palm. And it's important to realize this because many people out there, Instagram, Google, YouTube, will use certain numbers to try and sound science-based, but they're really fudging it based on the idea that you will not do further research. And that's what I really want to get across here is don't trust anybody, including myself, including Johnny Bag of Donuts, including Kenzie Morgan's, especially f***ing Kenzie Morgan's. Can we really fire her, please? If you go on Google right now, or we use MyFitnessPal, we'll show you. You will see that 100 calories of broccoli does not have the same amount of protein that they wrote, nor does 100 calories of beef have the same amount of protein that they wrote. And we're gonna show you exactly what that looks like, but go do your own research. Go on Google, type how much protein in 100 calories worth of broccoli, how much protein in 100 calories worth of beef. Look it up. It's super important that you do this. Most people out there, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of people out there are trying to deceive you based on the idea that you will not go do your own research. And here at NBSFN, no bullshit fitness news. Our job is not just to teach you what's right. Our job is to help you become a critical thinker so you can be a more informed consumer, informed fitness enthusiast, informed coach, an informed person altogether. If you want to really understand what people are trying to sell you, you need to start doing your own research. I have nothing against the vegan or plant-based community. This video is not about tearing that style of eating down. And I know there'll be people in the comment section, oh my God, he's making fun of vegans. Vegan is the right way to, it has nothing to do with the meme. It's about saving the animals. This is a catastrophe. And here's the deal. I don't give a fuck how you eat. If you want to eat vegan, eat vegan. If you're plant-based, be plant-based. If you're keto, do keto. If you're Weight Watchers, do Weight Watchers. If you count calories, again, I don't give a fuck. Do what works for you. My issue is with deceiving people deliberately. And that's something I will not tolerate now or ever. So if you decide that you want to eat this much broccoli to get your protein in, by all means, go for it. Now, I will say this. Odds are your farts are going to smell worse than Hagrid's asshole, but that's up to your prerogative. If you decide that's what you want to do, by all means, go for it. Personally, I fucking love steak, and I would way rather have this much steak to get what is actually more protein than this than eat that much broccoli. But again, whatever floats your boat. So to put this myth to bed, not only does 100 calories of broccoli not have more protein than 100 calories of beef, but 100 calories of broccoli, that's just a fuck ton of broccoli, and expecting someone to eat that much is outrageous. My call to action is this. When you see something on Instagram, you see something on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, do your research. Look into it. If you're not sure what to do, ask someone for help. But absolutely do not take anything at face value, because you are worth more than being deceived. You are worth more than falling for the nonsense that is being peddled to you across all forms of social media. Do me a favor, if you like this segment, give the video a thumbs up and comment down below if you want me to do another segment similar to this. Otherwise, let's move on.
And now we're very excited to introduce you to our correspondent from the land down under, Richard Tiny, for his new segment, 60 Second Richard. Richard, how are you today?
Ha! No, mate. Nonsense. I hate the name Richard. Just call me Dick.
I apologize, Dick. I didn't realize you'd want me to call you that, but okay, well, everybody, we are very excited to introduce you to Dick Tiny and his new segment, 60 Second Dick.
Thanks for the introduction, mate. Again, my name is Dick Tiny. I'm reporting to you live for 60 Second Dick. Between you and me, that's a good 20 seconds longer than I usually last. All right, now, real quick. Today we're talking about chemicals in foods, because a lot of people, they're going to tell you, don't eat foods with chemicals inside it. It's so dangerous. Follow me, let's discuss it, all right? Now, a lot of people try and use the argument, if it's not natural, it's not safe. If there's chemicals in it, especially ones you can't pronounce, don't eat them. Dangerous. And it makes sense logically, but it's a fallacy. And I want to tell you why. The reality, mate, everything is a chemical. No matter what, everything around us, it's all chemicals. For example, if I was to eat an apple right now, this whole thing is full of chemicals. It's delicious, chemical full fruit. It's got a whole lot of chemicals you can't even pronounce, I swear to God. There's even trace amounts of cyanide in this thing. We got to remember, it's not just that chemicals are bad, it's all dose dependent, right? Tomatoes even, they've got formaldehyde in them. Doesn't mean it's bad for you, just means it's the dose that really determines whether or not it's going to harm you or not. Totally fine. If I had a banana, for example, in this whole thing, dihydrogen monoxide, a whole lot of things I can't even pronounce, I can't even remember, I'm trying to tell you. The reality is, even things that are healthy for you, even things that are good for you, they've all got chemicals in it. Come with me. Yeah, come. Shh. You don't want to wake the grass. You don't want to scare it. Even grass. This stuff right here, this is all made up of chemicals. Now, I don't recommend you eat it in the dog park here, because they would have pooped on it. And you don't want to eat poop, generally, unless you're starving. Different story, different day. The reality is, everything has chemicals, no matter what. And if people tell you that you shouldn't eat something just because there's chemicals in it, the reality is they have no clue what in the literal they're talking about. So, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the segment. Tastes delicious. Tastes like wallaby urine. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the segment. If you liked it, like the video, Tell me in the comment section. See you next week. Jordan, back to you.
Well, Dick, you crushed that one, and it was certainly longer than 60 seconds, but that's okay, and hopefully it's a recurring theme in your life. But that's that for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you don't already, and again, please just leave a comment saying literally anything you want because it drives up engagement. But seriously, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful week. Here we go. Listen, Johnny. Listen, Johnny. We've got a hippogriff. New segment of Shut Your Mouth, What's Your Point? With Mike Vacanti. That'll be followed up by our self-proclaimed... I'm gonna myself in my f***ing face. I'm laughing so hard my eyes hurt.
That's the clip.
Why did I start laughing? I feel like I'm gonna look like I just started crying in the next clip. Here we go.